Jalen Green goes off and the Rockets win their 7th game of the year. Let's talk about it.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Summit State of Mind, presented to you by the Apollo Podcast Network. In this episode, we're going to review Rockets versus Grizzlies, Jalen Green's takeover game, Alperen Sengun's stability, and preview Rockets versus Nuggets. Boys and girls, the Houston Rockets come off the schneid. That is right. They win their 7th game of the year, break the 3-game losing streak, and possibly move on to a possibly new winning streak. So that seems to be the pattern. Lose 3, win 6, lose 3. Maybe we're on our way to 6 in a row. We can only hope, right? The Houston Rockets beat the Memphis Grizzlies 111-91. And before we continue and move on, I just want to wish everyone a very happy and safe Thanksgiving and a happy holidays to all who celebrate. I am recording this on Thanksgiving morning, so I just want to say I'm thankful for each and every one of y'all that continue to tune in to our broadcast, to our show, and support the Summit and Apollo Houston. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. If you can look around, you can see it is just me. I DNP'd the GM. He's on suspension for 1 episode on account of excessive celebration, so it's just me handling it from here on today. So let's go ahead and move on right now. Let's review Rockets versus Grizzlies. Rockets stomp the Memphis Grizzlies 111-91. You're talking about a shellacking of epic proportions, especially down the stretch. Let's talk about some highlights, some lowlights. Obviously, from the lowlight standpoint, the Houston Rockets did struggle out of the gate, possibly playing their worst first half of the entire season, only tacking off 45 points as they went into the half, losing 46-45. It was a really rough and tumble first half, not a lot to go off of. There was a stability in Jabari Smith's offense that I was very, very, very thankful for. However, the totality of that first half was really rough. It was tumble. It seemed like Dylan Brooks was forcing some shots. It was hard to get Alperen Sengun going. He missed a couple bunnies at the rim, which happens, and that happens. The defense was really, really tough. Memphis's defense was playing top notch. They were playing for something. You obviously had the Dylan storyline as well, playing as a factor into, sparking that Memphis offense and defense. So we knew that they were going to come out of the gate punching. They've only won 3 games this year. They were currently 3-10 going into this game, now 3-11. So we knew that they had a lot going for them right now in terms of what they wanted and what they were trying to accomplish. So the Houston Rockets did go into that half. They were down 1, but then all of a sudden the spark got inflamed, started a wildfire in terms of offense, an explosion of epic proportions. They scored 66 points in the second half, 29 and 37 in the fourth quarter. They outscored Memphis 66-45, a 21-point discrepancy to ultimately get this win. It was a big win and a timely win for this Houston Rockets. Home cooking continues to be the motive of the day as they continue on to their streak. They're 7-1 now at home. And I'm talking in terms of like home cooking. This team is going to be home cooking from the looks of it. Could be one of the toughest home teams to face against because we know how they are on the road. They're currently 0-5, getting really close to breaking through that door, but no cigar as of yet. But from a home standpoint, they've been absolutely cooking no matter how much down they go by. They always find a way to fight back, and you can account that to the Ime culture. You can account that to defense, the dog that's in each and every one of them, the culture that has changed, but you can definitely see it within their games, and it's been incredible, and it's been a lot of fun to see from a fan and a media standpoint. Boys and girls, we have to talk about it right now, obviously. Let's go straight into it from the highlight perspective. And we can't highlight anyone else to start this topic than one Jalen Green, who's heard a lot of noise and a lot of backlash from a lot of the fan base recently, especially if you are on like Rockets Twitter. There's a lot of people that have been selling on the stock, seeking greener pastures past the Jalen Green, questioning whether or not he is worthy of that number 2 overall pick. I get it from their perspective. There's a lot to be said here. You're in your 3rd year. They're expecting better out of the gate. We talked about why he wasn't able to fit last game, but I'm not worried about that anymore because he heard the noise and he exploded for 34 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 13 of 26 from the field, 3 of 13 from 3, which could be better. That was still really, really low. 5 of 5 from the free throw line, which I thought was huge. And he was ultimately a plus 11. And boys and girls, that dunk, that dunk was filthy. Perhaps, probably, possibly the dunk of the year on reigning and defending Defensive Player of the Year, Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. Put yourself on a poster. This is your Kodak moment. He absolutely did it at that time. It seems like every time they put on that Dunkstronaut jersey, that hometown heroes uniform, Jalen Green just tends to take it to another level because he did it once again. You're looking at possibly the dunk of the year in terms of candidates. If you haven't watched that clip, run that clip back because it's incredible. It's insane the leaps he gets, and that's the thing. And the thing is that we love the dunks, okay? We love the dunks. We love the shots. We love the three-pointers. We love when he shakes and bakes. We love when he can get a good step back going. Middies are going in. It's fun. It's fantastic. The thing that impressed me the most about Jalen was actually not the dunk. It was not the three-point shooting. It wasn't the shooting itself. The thing that impressed me the most was his ability to stay steadfast, the ability to know that there's a dog inside of him, that he was going to continue to push and push and push because he was struggling. Like that first half, he was not shooting the ball well at all, consistently missing. I think at one point he was shooting 1 for 7 or like 1 for 6, 1 for 7 to start the game. But I love his ability to continue to knock on the door, to not let these missed shots be mental and get to him. Because in the past 2 years, if he did that, he would have a horrible game, take it lying down, and that would be that. Not this year. Not with players like Fred. Not with players like Dylan Brooks. Not with players like Jeff Green having your back, basically talking in your ear and trying to pump you up and get you going, because that seems to have what happened, and it seems to have lit a fuse for my friends last year, lit a fuse within him to get him to where he needed to go. 1 for 7 did not matter. He stayed par for the course. He stayed with what made him great. He stayed with what made him, what made him the number 2 overall pick, the explosion, the way that he found his shot, because that's always been my key with Jalen. Once he finds his shot, he becomes virtually unstoppable because you have to come out and guard him tight. And Jalen Green, also being one of the fastest players in the NBA, can blow by pretty much anybody. All it takes is one move straight to the rim. It's 0 to 100, and he gets there really, really quick. The thing with me that stands tall amongst all else, like I said, is just having that consistent dog in him to continue to want to push. Even though the shots aren't going in, he stayed aggressive. You love to see that. You love the fact that he's staying aggressive. He's continually pushing the envelope, especially last game, in a game where he really needed it. Because if you want to rewind it back, he got sat in the fourth quarter against the Warriors. Ime Udoka made a conscious decision to make sure that he sat in the fourth quarter. And look how he responded. Shout outs to Jabari Smith Jr. as well, who's been responding since he got benched twice in the last 2 games of the homestand. So to be able to come back from that for Jalen Green was incredible. It was fun to see, and I know that it put a smile on Ime Udoka's face, because that's Jalen Green's Ime's guy. Like, you can see that in the way that they consistently communicate with each other. So you want that type of success. You want that bread of success to be within Jalen. So in my opinion, still, Alperen Sengun's still going to be the engine. There's nothing that's going to change it. Alperen Sengun is the engine that's going to move this team, but we still need the other moving parts to do their thing as well. Jalen Green just needs to, I don't need 34-point consistent performances out of him. I just need him to stay par for the course, to stay aggressive to what makes him successful, like last night. So if he can do that, 34 points, it's great. I don't need him to score 34 points every game. I don't need him to shoot 50% from the field. It'd be great if he shot 50% from the field, but even like in the high 40s, 45% or above, I'm happy with it. I'm good with it. I'm so proud of how Jalen Green responded. Now what we need from him is the consistency. We need now to happen next game. We got a tough game against Denver, which we're going to preview in another segment. We're going to need him to do a little bit more. We're going to maybe need him to stay within the flow of the offense and stay, because this is the defending champions. We're going to see what type of metal he's made of this next game, specifically in the next games that are coming. But we love the direction in which he's going. We're big fans of it, and we can't wait to see what's going to happen next. I do want to give a shout out also to Jabari Smith Jr., who I mentioned a little earlier. Look, the fact of the matter is that when Jalen sat, he came out strong, but Jabari has been pretty much the unsung hero of this entire team. He's been like consistently good these past 4 games with a stretch of these 4 games, and he's not getting talked about enough. And that's fine and that's fair, because what Jabari Smith's role is, he doesn't need to be Kawhi Leonard. He doesn't need to be Paul George or Scottie Pippen or be like that next wing star. As of right now, he doesn't need to be that. What we need him to do is just bred and breed consistency. And he's been doing that. He had another highly efficient game. He scored 18 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. He shot 6 of 10 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3. I'm a proud father of my son, because he absolutely did work. 3 of 4 from the free throw line. I mean, that's breed consistency right there. Like, what more can you ask for in terms of what Jabari's doing in terms of scoring? And more importantly, to be able to take it in stride and play well on the defensive end as well. He blocked Jaren Jackson Jr. That's the thing with him, is that it's not the fact that he's just doing it on offense. He's doing it on both ends of the floor. You can have that give with him if he doesn't make shots. I get that. However, his ability to stay within the flow of the defense is actually what's going to be key for Jabari, because we need the shots to drop, of course, but if he stays strong defensively, he'll keep his time on the court. So the fact that he's starting to get better and understand the ebbs and flows of what Ime Udoka's system is on defense is what's ultimately going to carry Jabari Smith forward. And he's using that defensive dog in him to elevate his offense in the process and to stay within that flow when Fred runs, or if it's Alperen Sengun running the offense. I love it. Continue to do work, my son. Shout outs to him. He gets a gold star. Super proud of him. I do also want to shine light on one Alperen Sengun, just because, look, he's been an all-star, the totality, the best player on the team by far. I've claimed it. I truly believe it. Still the best player on the team. If you look at it from a stat standpoint, it doesn't look fantastic. He played 31 minutes, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. He had 3 blocks, which is incredible. Shot 4 of 9. He went 1 of 1 from the 3-point line, and he was a plus 21 from the plus minus category. A plus 21. That means when he's on the floor, they added 20. They outscored their opponent by 21 points when Alperen Sengun is on the floor. This is what it tells me. Those points, 11 points, doesn't look like much. 7 rebounds doesn't look like much. However, his ability to stay within the game, to keep his mentality together, and to play on both ends of the floor, and to stay steadfast no matter what. That's what I love about Alperen Sengun, because look, shots will not always drop. That's the thing. That's basketball. You are never going to be scoring 20 plus points a game every single night. We'd love to see it, but however, it's not going to happen. However, his ability to stay mentally in the game from an offensive standpoint, but more importantly from a defensive standpoint, you have to find ways when you're not scoring to make an impact in the game. And Alperen Sengun did that. He found a way to guard Triple J, stayed in front of him, stayed in front of the guys, and when he would switch and play onto the smaller players like a Desmond Bane, who got him a couple of times, but to stay within that system on the defense, and he stayed stout. He committed 5 fouls. That's the only thing. And that's the team as a whole. The team really needs to fix that, and which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But Alperen Sengun's ability to stay in that game, and more importantly, to know that he doesn't need to score to be effective on the court. And you saw that he played effectively for all sense and purposes. He actually played very effectively for the minutes that he was on the court. They were a plus 21. If you want to look at numbers, the numbers speak for itself, and we want to look at it from a numbers standpoint. Alperen Sengun, really proud of the way that he kind of stayed stout throughout the entire game, stayed par for the course, and continued to build upon what has made him, a great player. When you talk about a third-year leap, once again, I'm going to mention it once again, Alp's third-year leap does not solely depend on the offense in which he's running. It stems upon the totality of his game, including defense. So proud of the way he operated. I don't think he's going to get enough love this game because Jalen Green freaking went off. Jabari Smith being second in command behind him. But Alp just kind of being that anchor, because that's what he's there for. He's the center. So he's going to be the anchor on the team. That's what he's there for. That's what every center is there for. And every center needs to be at the very least, a viable defender. You're starting to see it unfold right before your eyes. LP's buying into the system, buying into the defensive scheme that Ime Udoka is running. You're starting to see that. We may see him very well be a plus defender before the season's over, and I can't wait to see that develop over the course of the season. Gosh, we're only finishing game 13. We still got 69 games remaining left in the season, so I can't wait to see what's going to happen with the rest of the 69 games that follow. With the highlights that do come in, I do want to discuss a little bit of the lowlights, and for a big lowlight for me, once again, is the foul trouble. And what I mean by foul trouble is that they gave up 35 free throw attempts to the Memphis Grizzlies. That is way too many. Memphis had 30 points. They went 30 of 35 from the free throw line. That means you gave away 30 points on free throws alone. Remember, there's only three things that are free: death, taxes, free throws. They got the free throws, they got it off, and they ultimately scored 30 off of that. The totality of this team, they need to stop being in foul trouble. I mean, Alperen Sengun had 5 fouls. Dylan Brooks is consistently in foul trouble. He had 4. Jayshawn Tate had 4. And that's the thing, like Dylan, Jayshawn, and Alperen Sengun have a tendency to get into foul trouble because they play aggressively, and I get it. What we need for them to take that next step now is for them to play aggressively, but to play disciplined as well. So it's an aggressively disciplined defense, and that's what catapults a decent team to a contender. And I said this in my last tweet. If you follow me on Twitter @SummitCommish, I did say after the win, I said defense creates contenders. And that's the thing. When you look at the past teams, all the past eras, whether it's the Lakers of the early 2000s, the Rockets of the mid 90s, the Chicago Bulls that dominated the 90s, San Antonio Spurs, I'll even say it, the Golden State Warriors in the 2010s. What made them all successful, is their offense was a juggernaut. However, their defensive ability to stay in front, that is what made that team great and incredible, and what's ultimately made them dynasties and makes those teams live forever was the fact that they stayed their defense. Even last year's Denver team had a really good defense. Defense creates contenders. We need to see that. And you can't play defense if you're not on the court. So we need our best players to be on the court, stay on the court, play aggressively, because we don't want our dogs to change. I don't want Dylan Brooks. I don't want Jayshawn Tate to change. I don't want Alperen Sengun to change or Jabari Smith. I want them to stay, or Fred. I want them to stay within themselves. However, I want them to also stay disciplined. And once they find a way to do that, they can start kind of tacking off, I think, wins in a row. I think they'll start winning more games on the road. I think that will ultimately catapult them from what maybe could be a 8-9 seed playing team to, like I said, catapult them to maybe a 6 seed. Is to ultimately see what they can do on the defensive end and see what they're made of on the defensive end, and to ultimately not give up 30 plus free throws every game. They did give up 30 plus free throws to the Lakers in that game a couple games ago. Now giving up 35 to the lowly Memphis Grizzlies. You can't be doing that on a daily basis. You're not going to get away with wins like last night if you continue to go down this route. They have to stay disciplined. In terms of a highlight, though, from a team standpoint, geez Louise, the Houston Rockets gave up 91 points on a season. They have given up 105 points per game. That is tops in the entire NBA. Then, as of right now, in points allowed per game, we are the number 1 ranked defense. That is absolutely insane when you think about it. To what this team has been able to accomplish. They held another team under 100 points, and I don't care if it's the lowly Memphis Grizzlies without Ja Morant, without Marcus Smart, without a Steven Adams for the season. It does not matter. It's still an NBA team. Every NBA team, especially nowadays, offense is the plan of the day. It's basically what's created this newfound wave in the NBA, 100 plus, 110, 115, 120. Like, that's normal. The fact that they're holding teams under 100 is unfathomable. As I move my mic because I'm so excited, it's absolutely unfathomable when you think about it. I'm so proud of the way that this team has developed, and it begs the question: is Ime Udoka going to be coach of the year because of that? Because of the fact that he's created this more than a culture, but he's created this dog of a defense that does not waver at all. They'll give up points for stretches, but for moments like, for example, the Clippers game where they held down Kawhi, Paul George, and Harden before that last 3, held them down the stretch, they were not scoring anymore. This Rockets defense, It's a big enough sample size. We're 13 games in. This defense is for real. So I'm excited to see how they continue. I want to know before the season's end how many games are going to hold teams under 100 points. Please let us know. Give us a prediction. How many times are they going to hold teams under 100 points? I'm excited to see that. This defense does not get enough love, in my opinion, even though they're one of the top defenses in the entire NBA. Big enough sample size. Give them their flowers. Very well deserved. They freaking earned it. What a great team effort all around. Rockets beat Memphis Grizzlies 111-91, improved to 7-6. Boys and girls, let's go ahead and preview the in-season tournament game against the Denver Nuggets, Houston Rockets versus Denver in Houston. And this is the thing. This is what's very important now. The Denver Nuggets and the Mavericks, I think, are the two teams we're facing in the in-season tournament next. To advance, we have to beat both teams. We have to go 2-0. This is all according to Craig Ackerman, so we have to go 2-0. From a vacuum of just this game. 3 keys right out of the gate. It's going to be Nikola Jokic versus Alperen Sengun. Try your best to contain Nikola Jokic. He's going to get what he wants. We understand that. I'm pretty sure he's going to get another double-double, maybe even a triple-double. But find ways to kind of make him ineffective, especially in the fourth quarter like we did last game. We held him to only 7 points in the fourth quarter. That was a pretty inefficient fourth quarter for all things considered for Jokic from his standpoint. So if they can do that, continue to do that, they can tack away with the win. Point number 2, I need them to not give up so many fouls. You can give up 30 free throws to Memphis and get away with it. You ain't going to get away with it from the defending champions. Disciplined aggressiveness, if they can do that, they can get away with the win here. If you give up 30-plus free throws, you're most likely not going to win this game. They need to stay disciplined, stay aggressive, do not change who you are. However, be more cognizant of the fouls that you are giving up and know that there has to be points when you have to back off. And you can't be making stupid fouls, over the back calls, stuff like that. You have to stay disciplined to a degree. If they do that, they can definitely win. Point number 3, I need the offense to continue to run like the engine that they are. What I mean is it's the totality of it. Give me some bread and butter pick and roll action with Alperen Sengun and Fred VanVleet. Give me the bread and butter offense. Give me an aggressive Jalen Green that stays aggressive no matter what. If they find him, get him going. Jabari Smith being an absolute pillar, an unsung hero of the team. Give me between 15 to 18 points on high leverage, high percentage shooting. We can definitely get away with the win here and have the bench come off and turn up and do their thing. Jae'Sean Tate never getting enough love. Put on your hard hat and let's go to work. Tari Eason slowly coming back, getting himself together. Aaron Holiday being a godsend to us with the Men Thompson going down. Earned his minutes in as well. Pretty efficient games all around for all 3 of them. I can't wait to see them as they go to war once again against this Denver Nuggets. I do have a final score. I'm going to say this right now because we have been 7-1 since I've said this score. 118. It's going to be a close one. 118 to 115. Houston Rockets ultimately get the win, improve to 8-6. Drop your comments right now to let us know who you think is going to be the winners. Drop your score predictions. Drop your 3 keys to the game. I want to know your 3 keys for what's going to make this Houston Rockets team successful as they continue to build upon playing over 500 and possibly advancing in the group stage. I'm curious to see what your score is going to be. Drop your keys below. Let's find out. Talk to me. Let me know how it works. Overall, very proud of the boys. They played really well tonight. More home cooking continues to be the trend here. And I'm excited to see how they're going to continue to build upon the greatness that's kind of been set before them. I'm excited, man. This is a great time to be a Houston Rockets fan. I can't believe 13 games in, we're over 500. What a time to be alive. We went through all the negativeness just to get to where we are now. Alperen Sengun's blossoming himself into a stud and a star. Jalen Green trending in the right direction. Jabari Smith trending in the right direction, being the pillars that we expected them to be with the number 2, number 3 overall pick. Fred Honcho, Dylan, the villain Brooks, continuing to do their thing. Uncle Jeff Green just sprinkling that sense of veteran leadership. And of course, the bow tie and all of it is Ime frickin' Udoka, Ime culture one time. Let's go ahead and end this episode. But before we do, I have to give an ad and a shout out to Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. That's right. I'm talking Big City Wings. They have that 2 for Tuesday if you want to go ahead and enjoy that. Every Tuesday, that's right. Buy one, get one. Bone in, boneless. Tons of flavors. My personal flavors are medium, and I do love me some lemon pepper. Get me 5 and 5. 5 and 5 makes 10. I'm a happy man. Give me maybe sprinkle some fries on the side, seasoned fries. Give me an ice cold beer, and I'm a happy man. So go ahead and check that out right now. 2 for Tuesday. That's right. Buy one, get one. Bone in and boneless. And I know we're listening to us on Thanksgiving, so we hope that y'all are having a happy Thanksgiving and enjoying yourselves. However, if you did want to sub your turkey for your chicken, you definitely had an option to do that, to go ahead and do that for your catering, because they do cater. And this is also the totality of events. They also cater as well in general. So go ahead and find your nearest big city wings that is nearest to you and go enjoy some of the best wings. Actually, no, not some. The best wings in the entire city of Houston. Tell them Apollo sent you. That's right. Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. One time for the brothers and sisters out there. Let's go ahead and end this episode, as I'm sure you guys are tired of me talking about the Rockets and all that stuff. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Summit Commish. Follow the GM, who's not currently here, at JP_Mirabueno. Follow at Summit State of Mind _pod on Instagram, Summit SOM pod on Twitter, at Apollo HOU, at Apollo NBA. And shout outs once again to the Apollo brethren that continue to kill the game. That's right, I'm talking BTD, Beyond the Diamond, the crown jewel of Houston Astros podcast. Shout outs to the Apollo Texans, Off the Gridiron, killing it right now with their content as well. CJ Stroud, pretty much freaking him. And we appreciate each and every one of y'all that are making us your first listen for all Houston Rockets content. I am truly, if I were to, on Thanksgiving Day, I'm thankful for each and every one of our listeners that stop what they're doing and put their ears or put their eyes on our product. I really appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart, it means everything to me. We've built this now for about 3.5 years, so we appreciate what we've been able to build, what we've been able to build from grassroots to where we are now. So I'm thankful for y'all. That's, if you were to pick one thing I'm thankful for y'all. I'm thankful for the fans that we've garnered, and I'm appreciative for Rockets fans. I love it. Drop your comments down below. What you're thankful for. I want to know if you're thankful for anything at all. So we appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all have a very happy holidays. Be safe, and I'm going to end this episode as I end every episode with a Go Apollo, Go Summit, and by God, win number 7. Go Rockets. Oh, and by the way, Jalen Green, what do you think they should do? You think they should watch basketball? Watch basketball. Yeet. Oh,